Guys, there are over 100 million people on Twitter today. Are most of them wasting their time? Absolutely. Absolutely. The vast majority of people on Twitter are wasting their time. There's a lot of people singing the praises of social media today. Is most of it just a bunch of hype? Absolutely. Absolutely. There are a few people and companies that are using some pretty simple but powerful strategies to literally explode their businesses virtually overnight. So most people are wasting their time, and a few people are really seeing results. Conversations are markets. Conversations are markets. If you want to access a market, you have to participate in the conversation. Okay, because that's what builds awareness, and awareness leads to interest, and interest leads to demand. Let's talk about Twitter. Who here thinks Twitter is a complete waste of time? Look around, guys. Awesome.
I don't know enough about to even know.
So check it out. The people who hate Twitter will love this study. This was done last year. Tons of studies being done on Twitter. It says that 40% of tweets were categorized as pointless babble. So the people who hate Twitter look at this study and say, this is exactly why I don't want to be on Twitter. I look at the same study and I say, this is exactly why I do want to be on Twitter. Because all these people are talking about stupid garbage like I'm going to go get a taco. Who cares about the taco? Guys, less than 10% have what they refer to as pass-along value. Less than 10% were good enough that people shared it with their friends. It's not hard to shine in this audience. Does that make sense? Right? So when I first released my book, this came out last March, and I summarized it into 300 marketing tips. And I released those tips as tweets on Twitter. Okay, I've got a few examples here, up at the top. Conversations on markets, we talked about this. Participation plus facilitation equals opportunity. More tips at my website. What am I doing? Right, I'm trying to introduce myself on Twitter first, and if they don't care, that's okay. But if they do, they can click on the link and come to my website and find out more about me. Guys, everybody here could write 200 or 300 tips. Right? The expertise that you already have. You could write a bunch of tips and release them as tweets on Twitter and provide value and start building an audience. There's a lady up in Northern Cal, Clayton area, which is close to where I live, and she's got a little flower store. It's not even a store, it's like a kiosk. It's on wheels, so it rolls. Anyway, we built a local Twitter audience for her, easy to do. And she has an alert system set up where she gets a daily digest every day of people in her audience who tweet the word baby, wedding, congratulations, and a handful of other words. And where appropriate, she responds to those people and says, congratulations from us as well. Come on in and get a free flower. Most people don't do it, but some do. And more than half buy something. Does that make sense? Guys, she's using the waste of time Twitter to find new clients every day. Right? What words can you search for? Right? Just go to search.twitter.com. Search replaces the www. Go to search.twitter.com and play with it. Search for some words. This is what it looks like. Okay, so if I take a picture of this guy, right, and I upload it to my Facebook page, it's going to show up on my page. That's where I uploaded it. But it's also going to show up on his profile as photos uploaded by others. What's your first name? Gary? It's going to say, it's going to go on his news feed. So his entire network is going to be notified. It's going to say Gary was tagged in a photo and it's going to be there. It's very powerful. So this is what we did. Check this out. This is awesome. This was a huge success. It was a winery. It's up near Calistoga. Very small, like a family, very small winery. They did a public wine tasting, $5. So it's cheap. They marketed a bunch of people came. So the people came in and they registered right here, okay? And they got their glass right away and their first pour, right? So they've got a glass of wine with wine in it. So they came this way, and then here we had this thing set up with the big logo of the winery, okay? And I'm like the photographer. Thank you for coming. We're thrilled you're here. Love to take your picture. Is that okay? Everyone's like, yeah, sure, right? Take their picture. Right? Think about this. With people, right, smiling with wine, right? The logo's right here, yes? Right? So we're going to take these pictures and upload them to our Facebook page and tag you. Is that okay? Sure. So we end up with over 200 photos. There were over actually not over 200, about 188 photos. Over 500 people tagged. And it goes into Facebook. And the buzz was unbelievable. Okay, just by seating all the people, it says, Gary was tagged in a photo. There's Gary holding a glass of wine with this winery they've never heard of before, and now they know about it. So just think about whatever events you do, right? You need to take a picture of those people. Real estate agents, when they sell a house and it says sold on the sign, you need to take a picture of those people by that sign, right? And tag them. Or I know it's not your business, but let's say you're a contractor and you're doing a rental for somebody's house and the kitchen looked awful before and now it's all pimped out with slate countertops and the whole thing. You got to take a picture of those people, right? And tag those people. It's going to go into the newsfeed. People are going to be like, wow, your kitchen looks awesome. Who did you use? We're talking about a totally ADHD 31-year-old kid who inherits a wine store from his parents in Manhattan called Wine Library. Okay. Guy's crazy. I mean, seriously, the guy's nuts. He literally eats dirt and chews leather when he to talk about the flavors in wine. Young people love him, right? So he started a video blog called Wine Library TV. He's very active. He posts a video almost every day, so it's not a small undertaking. Okay, but he posts these videos that are totally crazy, right? People love him. Guys, he increased his family business from $4 million to $60 million a year in 18 months. This is a company called Blend Tech. They make blenders, commercial residential blenders. Okay, and this is, by the way, that's the CEO. I met this guy. We both spoke at the same conference. This is great. So as the story goes, they manufacture blenders in Colorado, and they have a room in the factory where they test the blenders. Okay, and he went into that room one day, and the whole thing was covered in sawdust and chips of wood. Okay, you can imagine. He was like, "What are you doing?" Right? And the guy who works in that department is like, don't worry, we're just testing the blenders. He's like, how did you test it? The guy says, we blended a 2x4. And the blender lived. Right? The 2x4 died, the blender lived. Amazing, right? The guy's like, this is incredible. We got to get this on video. Guys, they started this campaign with $85. Okay? They started a series called Will It Blend? Okay? And they blended all kinds of stuff, like marbles and chunks of concrete. They blended a full-size rake. They blended the rake. And this here is an iPhone. They blended an iPhone. Okay? And the thing completely turns to dust, right? You should go to YouTube. They called it iDust on the video. The thing is completely demolished. Okay? Top line revenue. Didn't double, didn't triple, quadruple. They increased their business, not profits. Top-line revenue was up 500% because they demonstrated the capabilities of their product in a very clever way in the middle of a raging river. You see the trend? It's all the same thing. Hey guys, it worked because it was remarkable. What do you do that's remarkable? In the good old days, I mean, I'm talking like throughout history, people looked at the source first and the content second. Who are you came first. What did you say came second? It's important. Who are you came first. Okay? That's what's changed. Today they look at the content first. That's a huge opportunity, guys. It's huge. They look at the content first. So all that, I've got 28 years experience. Who cares? I went to Harvard. Who cares? I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but it matters less. What matters today is, do you have good quality content? And maybe your 28 years experience, or maybe the fact that you went to Harvard gave you better quality content. That's legitimate and that's cool. I respect that. But they're looking at the content, not the fact that you came to Harvard. And whether you like them or hate them, either way, that's how this guy won. Okay? And by the way, if you don't like him, it's even more important to see what's going on. Right? Because that's what happened here. It never would have happened 40 years ago. And it happened today. Why is that? There's a change. People look at different things.